Yo, welcome back or welcome in, whichever one it is. We appreciate you guys. Week 3 already. Seems like it's already flying by. Week 2 was extremely hectic, Matt. We saw all kinds of madness between leverage stuff, between injuries, between big fantasy football players blowing up scoreboard, right? I mean,
Yeah, especially those
plenty of fantasy football players that are or fantasy football owners that are happy out there.
especially those wide receivers. I was looking at the stats. Um, After a lot of disappointing week 1 wide receivers, especially the, top names, you saw Malik Neighbors 167,
Oof.
Russell Wilson just slinging it.
Rush for MVP.
Jamar Jamar Chase coming out strong 165 even with a backup quarterback, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Um, Robinson 142, Odunze 128, Amon-Ra just coming alive against Chicago, 3 touchdowns, 115 yards. And then we saw a lot of running backs too. I mean, yeah, what a fantasy week for a lot of people. Um, except sorry, Shane, throwing up the lowest score I've seen in my life.
Oh my gosh, dude.
At 55 points. I didn't know you could have a full lineup and score that low. But yeah, great fantasy week for a lot of these people that we really thought had upside to them, and they finally show out week 2.
Yeah. To give you guys an example, having Fields, Henry, Mason, Brown, McLaurin, Laporta, and Hollywood Brown is not a good lineup to have in week 2, especially when Fields puts up 4, Henry 2, Mason 5, AJ Brown 7, like Laporta 5. Like his kicker legitimately was his number 2 scorer this week, right behind Terry McLaurin at 9.8. So Shane caught a jab there, but that was probably not a fun week. That was probably one of those weeks where you just turn your phone off. Like you're just done watching. It's just like for fantasy updates, you're just like, I don't even care. Like I don't even want to know. Maybe throw some bets down to make you feel better. Like, hey, I won $20. Cool. But yeah, we saw all kinds of stuff with fantasy. We even saw some guys that like didn't get the love in terms of the focus point of what you just said, like Wandell Robinson, who just absolutely popped off for the Giants at the number 2 spot. Devontae Adams and Puka, and that combo was
Yeah,
was
true.
crazy. So there was like so many like it just seems super high scoring as you saw with the Lions and Bears. We saw the leverage thing that was super weird in the Colts Broncos game that literally determined the entire game.
Yep.
The missed kick gets called back in the leverage. I think it was a 15 yards, either 15 or 10 yards. Got him closer. It always stings more when he misses the first kick, right? You miss the first kick, the leverage call gets called, and then he comes down, bangs it right through the uprights, and you lose the game. It's like that's such a
Yeah.
crappy moment that it's like, really, you know?
I love
Um,
the idea of the leverage call, like, because you saw before the guys like jumping over the line and stuff like that.
Palomalu was the reason that it all
Yeah.
started happening, right?
That's the crazy play. This type of call,
Had
I don't
nothing to do
think
with the kick. Had
yeah,
nothing to do with the
I
kick.
don't think that's quite what we're looking for on that. So it's kind of weird when you have an ending like that, but
Yeah.
Colts Colts still got the win, which is crazy.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, before we get into the matchups, the primetime games um, were really disappointing last week. I cannot lie to you. The Sunday Night Football game, the Falcons Vikings was an absolute snooze. Um, and then I think the shitty part, honestly, the Bucks Texans came down. Shout out Baker. We've been big Baker fans here on the pod. If you guys listened to us last year,
Yep.
we've been huge on Baker. But that game was exciting, and then just staying up super late. I'm sure you didn't get to watch it, Matt, but
Nope.
it was just, dude. I caught myself like literally dozing off, and I wanted to watch. Like I wanted to watch, and I was just like, dude, it is like it's midnight right now. Like so, whatever that schedule is, that'd be cool if they just didn't do that ever again. I do appreciate the gap, but you got to start the game at 5 or something. You
Yeah.
can't start that game at 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock your time, right? It was
It's
brutal.
a cool idea because then West Coast really does get that night game,
Yeah,
but for everybody else, it's brutal to I
yeah.
couldn't stay up. So
Absolutely. Which leads us right into it. Uh, a matchup that I'm not super excited for. Um, this Thursday or tonight, I guess. Oops, sorry about that. This Thursday, or tonight. I keep saying this Thursday because it's so weird for me and you. But tonight, the matchup is the Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. I mean, look, just minus 800. week 3. Divisional, this is supposed to be like who takes the division. Like this is
Yep.
their big rivalry, and this is what we got going on. All
Instead,
I
it
have to say about this,
solidifies your pick at first coach fired.
I literally was just
This
going to
is
do that
locking it in.
because I have the stupidest quote I've ever. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Is
On my
it what he said already?
word for word, my friend.
Yes, let's hear it.
Dolphins former head coach Mike McDaniel. To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game. Am I like, you can tell me if I'm being like too harsh. Am I the only one tired of this guy? Like at first it was a funny, like, oh, that
Right.
guy, he's got to be such a cool coach. Now it's like you're annoying. Like you're 0-2 and you sound like an idiot. Like,
I mean, he did say something that I did appreciate. Somebody asked him about job security, and he said, "Well, if I was going to worry about that, then I wouldn't be doing my job trying to coach this team." There's something to that effect. And to me, I like that mentality. He already knows he's on the hot seat. He already knows he had a lot of success with this team, and now it's just a huge downward swing. So I think he knows. I think he feels it. But you're right. Everybody that kind of thought that was kind of edgy, kind of thought that was, this different mentality for this head coach. Now it's kind of backfiring on him. Everybody's, annoyed at
yeah.
that type of demeanor, especially when you're playing as bad as they are.
I feel like we've probably mentioned it on the pod before, of if you're gonna have that like vibe, you have to be good. Like you have to be 10-7, 11-6. Like you have to be
Right.
competing for the playoffs. Otherwise, it's like, who the hell is this guy? Like, who does he think he had one good season? That's it. Like, and so I think, I don't know, if I'm the owners, I feel like that luck is running out a little bit. But the Bills 2-0. They're one of 10 teams to be 2-0 going into week 3. We got, the Bills, the Bengals, the Colts, Eagles, Packers, Rams, Chargers, Bucks, 49ers, and Cardinals. Wow. I just did that.
It's
Cool.
impressive.
That was there. That Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I was like, was that 10? But yeah, I think you can agree with this one. It's gonna be one that we turn it on. First half, we might see 28-0, and then we're getting ready for the next day, right? We're turning it off, whatever else. But your fantasy owners, obviously, it matters. Big names: Josh Allen, James Cook, Achane, Hill, Waddle. The whole shebang. But this was an easy one for me and you.
Yep.
Before we forget, last week we had 16 consensus. This week we have 13. It's only 3 that we disagree on. Obviously the toss-up matchups, we just went the other ways, which it will happen most weeks than not. But 13-3 at a consensus, which puts us at 22-4, which through 2 weeks I'm pretty happy with. I can't lie. 22-4 is a pretty awesome stat to have. You're 27-5, and I'm 23-9. So doing pretty good so far. I mean, I
Let's
like to
keep it
see mine a
rolling.
little bit more. I wish I didn't take as many underdogs as I did in the week 1, but if it went the other way, a lot of those week 1 games could have went either way, especially when it came down. So it is
Yeah.
what it is. But that leads us on to the Packers at Cleveland game, which very, very interesting line here. I think the money line one got messed up on this one when we were making the graphic.
Oh, I
But
gotcha.
obviously the money line will be minus like 3 something on there. But just looking at the spread, right, minus 8.5. When you see that at a game where you're away, I think it tells you everything you're needing to need. But what I will say, what will be interesting about this matchup to at least give us something to look forward to, maybe in that time slot of the red zone, is the defense, right? How good
Yeah.
Green Bay's defense has been and how good Myles Garrett has been this year. I think he's already at 5 sacks through 2 games or something like that. It's something ridiculous. It's I think he had 2 or 3 in the first game. I think he had 2 last week too on Lamar. So I think it could end up being a defensive battle because I think that's gonna be Green Bay's identity this year. Um, and so that might be a little bit of fun, but I think it's Packers clear shot here. It's you
Yeah.
can't really go against that.
Yeah. Packers look elite. I know it's hard to say that from NFC North standpoint, but they really do. Those first 2 games, that defense is carrying them, and then obviously the offense still clicking as well. So um, it's hard to say that the Joe Flacco magic is gonna have a chance here, but we saw trick shot touchdown to Cedric Tillman last week.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I mean, some of that magic is there for Joe,
Yeah.
but and it's cool to see Judkins getting in there, getting reps.
Yeah, I think 10 carries, 62 yards didn't look bad at all.
Yeah, so that offense does have a chance, but they still have to figure out what the heck they're doing at the tight end position. They've got this sensational rookie that's literally, I think it was five receptions and then 5 for Njoku as well. So like that might be kind of stammering the offense a little bit too. Is they got to figure out the identity there of do they
Utilizing both or pick one, yeah.
yeah how are they going to actually separate those targets? So um I'm hopeful that the Browns will take it to them a little bit, but at the end of the day, Green Bay's looking too good to
Yeah.
lose this
And a
one.
really cool one that you'll like because I think me and you both appreciate stats like this, and Fancy, who used to do the pod with us, would love this stat. But Bart Starr for the Green Bay Packers won the Super Bowl at age 27. Brett Favre won the Super Bowl at age 27. Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl at age 27. Jordan Love turns 27 in November. So just a fun little stat line there for you. I mean, that little
Yeah,
little fact, little fact.
yeah.
That's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, like exactly what you said. And then we got Colts at Tennessee, which we both just talked about. We were just literally just talking about how the Colts legitimately should be 3-0 um after week 3, which I don't think any person on this planet would think that the Colts would be 3-0. I kind of told you a big question that I had was, are the Indianapolis Colts just last version's New Orleans Saints? Like are they just starting off really really hot and we like the fact that this team was supposed to be a poverty team like the Saints were, or are the Colts actually legit?
Yeah, I think this is and Daniel Jones is this year's Sam Darnold. I think this new team just gave him a new identity, and he's running with it right now. But you're right, can they outlast this? They're already proving themselves more than what everybody thought they were going to do so far. So can you sustain that level of play, or are you going to regress at some point? So I don't think it's in week 3. They play the Titans, although Titans did have a couple bright spots. Obviously a rookie quarterback, he's going to go through those growing pains, and if he does eventually click, you do got to look out. But I think especially when you see the performance out of JT like you did last week, Colts might be a formidable team. So
Yeah, absolutely. And you notice, like I mean, you mentioned it, having a running back like JT, just like when Daniel Jones was in New York and he had Barkley and Barkley was staying healthy and was good. That's when Daniel Jones had his best years, when you can open up. But when you have no run game, it is so tough to
right,
just not have. You don't have an identity at all on offense, right? Um, but our first one where we disagree with is the Bengals at Minnesota.
battle of the
Um,
backups.
Battle of the backups. I saw someone say that Chase with Browning and then Jefferson with Carson Wentz. Whoever gets the most receiving yards is officially the number one wide receiver out of those two, because it's always a debate between them. So it's like this is the matchup where the person that gets the most receiving yards. This is
Yeah.
this is how we tell it. Obviously you went with the Vikings. I went the Bengals. I'll let you go first though, Matt.
So we've got Super Bowl winning quarterback Carson
Gosh,
Wentz,
oh gosh, there's no way you're
lead,
starting at all. All right, I'll go first.
leading the way. No, I mean, I think Carson. I don't know how you feel. Obviously, that was a great season he had up until the injury. So, um, does he still have it? I don't know. We're gonna see. So, I think when you have Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver, I think you can make things happen. It's gonna be kind of interesting. We talked about it before of when is Jordan Mason going to take over this spot.
Yep.
I don't think we thought it was going to be because of an injury right away, but I think he's an RB1. So him stepping in because of an injury here, I don't think that changes anything for that backfield. It is going to be interesting to see if Carson Wentz can just step in and, let's see the old Carson Wentz, and let's see if that offense can get things moving.
Yeah. I guess this more so stems from the teams that I saw, where obviously one's 2-0, one's 1-1, not a big difference. But Minnesota in both matchups looked really bad. If the Bears were just half of what they should be, they would have beat the Vikings on Monday Night Football Week 1. Sunday Night Football, the Vikings team just looked confused. I mean, they look bad, and it could have been JJ McCarthy play, it could have been whatever else.
Yep.
I think the Bengals' identity, no matter what, and I don't think the Vikings' secondary is very good, but the Bengals' identity is just like, we're going to throw out 40 points. Like, that's just what it is. With Browning, with Burrow, they were talking about maybe trading for Jameis Winston. I don't know if you saw that or not, but that was talked about, that they were contacting the Giants about trading for Jameis Winston, which fantasy owners of Chase could only imagine Jameis Winston throwing the football up to Chase 40 times a game.
Yep.
But what was interesting about the game that the Bengals walked away from was Joe Burrow was losing the game 14-7. He gets injured, out for 3 months. Jake Browning enters the game down 7 and threw 3 interceptions, and yet the Bengals still won the game. That to me is like, if we're going into this game, Wentz throws 3 picks, the Vikings are not winning that game. Like, that's just kind of, and I'm not going to put those picks on to Carson Wentz, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that the Bengals had that much wiggle room in that one, and then we talked about Week 1, they won that matchup because of their defense with those picks they had on Joe Flacco. Now, yes, we talked about some of them were lucky, but picks are picks and turnovers are turnovers, and like you said, a little bit of magic goes a long way, a little bit of luck goes a long way, right? But another fun stat I saw was since 2023, between Burrow and Browning going back and forth between Burrow's injuries all these years, is Jake Browning has 3 game-winning drives. Joe Burrow has 2. Like,
that's interesting. Yeah.
That's a crazy stat to have. And so I just love how explosive the Bengals offense are. I think their offense is, after last week, like you said, Jamar Chase really blew up last week. Chase Brown looked good, the whole shebang. I just think the Bengals, I just trust that team more right now than the Vikings, and that's where I led to. So that's where my pick comes from. But one thing I really want to talk about was the fact that how much longer can Burrow take this? We talk about a guy who's been hurt a ton. Fun stat for you: Andrew Luck in his first 71 games was sacked 157 times. Do you think Joe Burrow has been sacked more or less in that time?
I mean, you're bringing it up, so it's got to be either close or exceeds it, right? I mean,
Joe Burrow in 71 games has been sacked 201 times. That's 44 more sacks than
no
Andrew
shot.
Luck. And Andrew Luck called it quits because he couldn't take anymore.
Because he just
How
got
many
beat
injuries?
Up.
Joe Burrow had the torn ACL his rookie year. He had was it like the wrist? It was like something to do with the wrist or thumb or something.
Or thumb,
it was the throwing thing, right? Kind of freak one or whatever. And then now tore tendons in a foot or ankle or whatever it was in toe turf, out for 3 months. I mean, people don't realize, like, and maybe they do. Maybe I just wasn't realizing the timeline of it until I was a Joe Burrow fantasy owner for the first time, and he really fucked me here. But 3 months, I mean, dude, he's not going to come back till, they said minimum 3 months, not just 3 months, minimum 3 months. So if things don't go the way they think it's going to go, it could be more. But
or if the Bengals, have a shitty season,
he might not come back.
They're not going to bring him back.
But I mean, if he does come back, that you're talking about week 13, 14, 15, like, so that's where I'm just like, it's going to be interesting, not to derail this thing over Burrow's injury, but I just thought that was just absolutely absurd to see all that stuff. And I'd really hate for Burrow's season or his career to come to an end early just because he's in the same situation as Andrew Luck. And the stats literally go to show that it's worse than the Andrew Luck situation. I mean, it really is. So that was our first one. Our second one is right up to bat already. No break. We're just battling it out.
Yep.
Once again, I go with the away team, and you go with the home team. So go ahead and you tell me why you took the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. Did you
No,
forget? You imagine this matchup, Tom Brady, Big Ben? That'd be cool.
I know. Yeah, maybe I'm looking. Yeah, I'm thinking of the old matchups. No, I mean I liked what I saw out of the Pats. Diggs finally got involved. Um, it's one of those things I'm balancing with. I thought the Steelers did look great week 1. Um, Not so much week 2, and kind of the Pats, kind of the inverse,
Opposite. Yeah.
thinking that they're coming alive now. And again, I've had from kind of in my head this maybe it's true or not, but I think the Pats have a chance at being a good team this year. So when we see that turnaround in week 2, you know, I'm giving the edge here, and we see it. It's a close matchup, obviously, at point differential 1.5. So I really think the Pats can beat this team. It's one of those things where can Aaron Rodgers put together another performance? And I don't think he's going to be week in, week out, like like we saw him in week 1. So to me, I give the edge here to the Patriots.
Yeah. No, I like everything you said there too. This one's, I mean, same thing with the last matchup, right? It's a toss up between who you basically like more, and that's just what it's going to be. There's no clear cut answer. Um, and we might see some upset in other games. Who knows? But the Patriots didn't beat the Raiders. We just saw how bad the Raiders looked on Monday Night Football, and then the Patriots beat the Dolphins. So until there's a real test in there, I know the Steelers beat the Jets, but they put up a lot of points on a Jets defense that's, you know, we look at as a top defense. Now they might not have been against, they got smoked number wise by the Steelers and then the Bills, but when Josh Allen comes and puts up numbers on you, I don't base your defense off of that. That's not a
Yeah,
fair
that's
that's not a
that's not a good
fair
barometer.
not a
Yeah,
fair scale to give your team there. But the way I look at it is if you watch the Pittsburgh Steelers game, which I don't know if you got to see much, the Caleb Johnson kick return is what
oh,
absolutely sucked the air out of that stadium.
yep,
Because I had friends that were there at that game that were like, dude, the fans were like, they were pissed. The team was like, everything was gone, right? Just rookie mistake. You guys didn't see it. Kick return, just let it trickle out of the end zone. Didn't realize it didn't make it all the way out, and they picked it up. Patriots. Seahawks got a touchdown off of that. And before that, it was kind of a ping pong matchup. It was literally just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, kind of like the Jets Steelers game. That sucked out all the air, and then the Steelers just never got it going again. And
yeah,
then the Seahawks went up 2 possessions, right? So I just don't know if I trust in Drake May and the Patriots offense enough that they can go bat up to bat with the Steelers offense, which is kind of crazy to sit there and say because the Steelers have never been known for offense, but they've looked really good this year, with at least putting up more yards than what we're used to. Um, and it's going to be tough. You never know. Just TJ Watt can really disrupt an entire offense. And even that Jack Saar guy that they have now too. Um, and I just don't know if there's a lot of playmakers with the Patriots in terms of that. I when I look at this matchup, I'm like, there's not a playmaker in my mind that it's like this guy's he can win a game for them. I think TJ Watt is a guy like that. I think even Rodgers, we saw like week 1 how many touchdowns he had, right? It's like you can make a difference. I don't know if we have a matchup like or a Patriot that can do that same thing.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
Ramondre Stevenson is kind of sneaky. Where
that's what I think you talked about. I was just gonna say that you talked about the identity with the rookies or the rookie tight end with the Browns and Njoku. I don't think Stevenson and like I don't think they've figured that out yet. Like I think
they
it's
haven't,
like,
yeah,
and I think that sometimes is a bad thing. Like you're saying with Cleveland, is like they're kind of like him or him, and they're like him, and then they don't. It's the wrong guy, and then it's him or him, and then it's oh cool, and then it's like no,
yeah.
that guy should have. It's like it's weird because we had all this hype that Henderson was going to be. I mean, that was my rookie of the year prediction, and now all of a sudden Stevenson's getting
But then they're still feeding him, and yeah, he had 11 carries. Drake made 10 runs, but yeah, only utilized Travion in the run game three plays last week. Like it's kind of weird. And then
yeah
obviously Ramondre, yeah, 5 receptions too. So They were really getting him more
Vrabel's
involved.
tough on the rookies. Vrabel's tough on the rookies. There could be something that happened at practice. There could have been a play that we didn't see him block well enough, and he just yanked him out. Like, so
Yep.
that's the tough thing, right? But then we have everyone's favorite matchup of the week. Or I almost said Ravens. I was gonna say Ravens Lions to mess around with you. But the Eagles at home against the Rams. Both teams 2-0. Which I don't know. I'd have to double check, but I think this is the only 2-0 matchup we have of the week. I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. Most likely wrong.
I'm trying
I'm
to look
usually
at it real
wrong.
quick.
I get told that all the time. But Eagles at home. I don't really
I think you're
love.
right.
Is it?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really love what are we even seeing out of the Eagles offense. But I think the one thing that we mentioned probably 1,000 times last year was how the Eagles will beat you. They're not going to turn the football over. I don't think they have a turnover this season. Hurts hasn't thrown a pick in like 10 games, which now that I say that he will. But they
Got
just
him.
don't they will not turn the football over. They're playing 4-down football. That's what they're doing. Like they're going to run the ball for 3 yards, pass for 5 yards, run the ball for 2 yards, and they don't get the first down, they're going to push their way in with a tush push, right? Like that's
It's gonna be an 8-minute drive.
yeah. They will just they milk the clock, they don't turn the
Yep.
football over, and their defense has been very, very good, right? Since the second half of the first week Cowboys game, when the weather delay happened, the
because they're not in a dome.
the defense, fuck you, the defense just didn't. I mean, shut Dak Prescott and the Cowboys down 0 points in the second half. You saw him shut down Mahomes and
Yep.
Kelsey and everyone else. So obviously, I'm going to pick the Eagles no matter what. But I just like their. I think this is a cool matchup. Me and you love Sean McVay. We really do. We love the Rams. We love Sean McVay. So this could definitely be a trap game in terms of a bet. I could totally see the Rams beating the Eagles and it being a huge thing, especially because our offense has kind of sucked. I mean, Jalen Hurts doesn't have a passing touchdown this season. So
I mean, can you imagine winning a game against the Chiefs and only throwing for 101 yards?
that's what Chris Jones says. That you don't have 100 yards, and then Jalen goes, "Shut the fuck up. We won the game." Or whatever.
Exactly, but they found a
But that's
way
what
to
people don't
win.
understand. And there was a matchup, I think, in the playoffs last year where Jalen did throw for like 320, and the first thing he sat down was like, "Is that what you guys wanted to see?" Like it's in the cards.
Yeah.
But if in the game plan it's not there and we don't need to do it, there's no reason to do it. And I think that's kind of how Mahomes. We saw Mahomes' stats. If you look at his stats throughout his career, he blew up for like 5,000 yards, and then every year it's been lower and lower and lower and lower. It's not because of his or his guys going down talent wise. It's a simple fact that they're playing to win football games.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. We don't care about stats, and we kind of saw it with Brady, and that's why Brady was so good for so long. Is he was never really your passing leader. It was tough to beat him. Like, and it's a different thing. Hurts does it in a different way, and I get it. People are going to bash him more because 101 yards is not ideal. But when you have guys like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Barkley, and then you know Dallas Goedert, it's like you can throw whenever he wants to throw, but until you stop the run or get us to turn the football over, there's really no need for us to take a risk when we're already beating you. Like, and that's kind of how they play.
You know, as an AJ Brown owner last year,
I would love to see more involvement.
You know what I mean? Like to me the best play out of them is that connection with AJ Brown on the sideline and him just chucking it up to him, and AJ Brown finds a way to make that catch. And those plays are explosive. Those obviously, those are huge plays for a drive. But if you don't have to do that, if you can find a way and just feed Barkley, give him those 20 plus touches. And then just, if you need a first down, get it here and there. If you win a football game, it doesn't matter. As long as you can still make those plays. And that's the only concerning part right now I have with the Eagles is, yes, because we're not seeing those because we don't need to. They're winning games. But what about in these games? Like, I think this game potentially is, this is a scary one for me. I literally almost picked the Rams just because of how explosive the offense has been for them. Like we saw it last game. We saw it out of Puka the game before that. Their stats are amazing, right? So if you get into a shootout style game like that, if the Rams can just drive down and score, yeah, it's great that you can just, kind of trounce down the field and get those first downs and milk the clock. But if the Rams go right back out and score again, right, you might have to go hit for hit there. You might need those explosive plays. And it's kind of scary not knowing if they still have that this
Yeah.
year or not. That's the only concern I've got in this style of game that I see right here.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say, like, and it could be wrong. It could just be me being an Eagles fan. So like that's just a disclaimer. But like if you remember, maybe you don't. I do because fantasy football drafts were like upon us at the time. AJ Brown was like questionable and he was dropping lower in the draft because he had a hamstring injury.
Yep.
I almost wonder, especially with one target in the first game, and he's not running any deep routes. They have him doing slant, like 5-yard slant routes. He's not running. And so I almost wonder, are we seeing like a decoy where like he's good to go 80%, and they're just like, hey, let's keep it minimal. But the eyes are still gonna be on you because after 4, 5, 6 plays go off, they're like, why are they not throwing it to him? Like we're still game planning for AJ Brown.
Right.
And then you win 2 games, you start off 2-0, like, and now he's good to go. Maybe not this week, but I'm just saying now obviously he's good to go. Now they're like, oh, they're not gonna pass it. And then now this week you see the deep ball come back. So it's like I almost wonder if we're just no one's really reading into it that much of like he could just be injured and not 100%. And that's why he legitimately, if you watch the games, he's not running down the field. He's not running past 10 yards at
Yeah.
once. Like,
And what we've seen out of him before, so I mean, I'm hoping it's the Hurts effect. What we've seen out of him before is demanding the ball. He wants the ball. He wants to be the
and he's
star.
not doing it. That's what I
And he's
mean.
not
So I,
doing
I
that
almost
right
wonder if he's,
now.
I almost wonder if he's just, he knows he's not 100%. He's just like, hey, I'll go out there. I'm going to keep it minimal and give it to Smitty, give it to Goddard. Because Smitty and Goddard were super involved week 1. And then Brown got a catch. And last week he got 5 or whatever. But it's
Yep.
like, I know Shane would prefer if he did some more this week for sure. But yeah, we'll see. I missed the deep ball as well. But an easy matchup for me and you: Bucks versus Jets, 2-0 versus 0-2. Bucks with a beautiful comeback drive. With Baker. Baker looked great. Agbuka looked great.
Yep.
Bucky looked great. We're kind of seeing even more out of Rashad White as well. It's kind of like 60-40 right now. It's weird.
And especially they gave him the ball to score that last touchdown, which was interesting too.
Yeah.
As the clock's running down. But how about the grit out of, I mean, we know Baker for being that type of player, but it's so funny the
Oh,
exchange.
he was not hurt. He was not hurt.
The exchange at the end where he goes down, looks like he's hurt.
Oh, he pulled a hammy, dude, and then he just immediately
pops up to just talk as much shit as possible to CJ, and I think he just uses that to fuel his own type of mentality that I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna talk so much shit, and then I'm gonna show you. And he did it. He kept that drive alive, which was very impressive. So it's
somebody said Baker Mayfield's kryptonite is just don't talk shit to him. If you just
that might be it.
If you just don't talk shit to Baker, he's just not gonna beat you. you have to talk shit to him for him to just turn up and just flip the switch.
Yeah.
Like
So just
back
kill
to
him
the
with
Oklahoma
kindness.
days, right? With the flag and everything else. I mean, yeah, I loved it. I was like, oh no, oh shit. It was so good. Like it was honestly really funny to see. But it's an easy choice here, right?
And then we got a concussed Fields. So
we're getting Tyrod Taylor this week. So we really don't know what's gonna come out of that. But another quarterback matchup that we might not see: Washington with Jaden Daniel. We both picked Washington. I thought maybe, I was like, I think so. By the time this game goes, Jaden Daniels might get ruled out. As of right now, when we're recording this Wednesday night, and this will be posted on Thursday, Jaden Daniel is still questionable. So I guess that's the question. Me and you are both Commanders right now. We answered it before with last week with Purdy. Didn't change my answer. I know it didn't change yours. If Purdy or Mac Jones was in, does it change your decision here if Marcus Mariota is in versus Geno Smith and the Raiders.
Well, and we already have Eckler out, season-ending injury too for them. I don't think so. I mean, I didn't get to watch the game, but you can't win a game with just kicking those 3 field goals for the Raiders. So I don't think I saw enough just on the stat line out of the Raiders to see that they can still overtake the Commanders.
Yeah, Geno Smith with like 9 picks, it felt like when we were watching it. It was just ridiculous. I don't think it changes mine either. I would love, obviously, I hope that Jane Daniels plays because it's always fun having more of those explosive guys in there that can make plays. But I think the Raiders are not who we thought they were gonna be just because of Pete Carroll and Geno Smith additions. I think they're missing a lot more pieces on that team than we think. Um, so I think the Commanders usually go 2-1 here. Um, but then we move on to the Falcons at the Panthers. A couple of these matchups, I feel like you can make a case for the other side. They're not as big of a margin besides the Seahawks and Saints. Um, I feel like you can make a case for the Panthers here with how well.
They had some
Um,
life in those
yeah,
in
they had
those
some life.
games.
They had
Yeah.
some life last. They almost caught back up to the Cardinals. Last week. Um, you know, the Cardinals have probably the worst 2-0 record so far, but yeah, the Panthers have life, and the Falcons really just they're just kind of like there. Like they're just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like the new kicker looked good, right? I mean, he made
Yeah.
all the kicks. It was kind of funny. I don't know if you saw that clip. I know you'd probably that you if you guys don't know, Matt loves making like the meme stuff. He does awesome stuff. We'll try not to plug your social, your TikTok on here one time. But he does a bunch of meme stuff. But I don't know if you did the one with that, but literally the Falcons kicker like met Bijan Robinson and Judon or Matthew Judon like for the first time, like at the end of the game
I
for the players of the game. It was so funny. Of,
I
like
saw that. Yeah.
they were like there, and it was also nice. Like you hear them say like "nice to meet you," and it's just like that's so funny because it's just such a like bring him in Saturday, he kicks Sunday, and like didn't get to like talk. And then, like, if you're the kicker, you're not going up to Bijan and be like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" Like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and
Like, you're not, you're
it's
like, it's not
it's
like,
funny because we saw the same thing with Prater. Like the kicking team are excluded as it is, right? So like, of course, yeah, they're not going to have those interactions. They're
yeah,
just going to do their own thing. Like kickers. I look at kickers like goalies in
closers
hockey.
in baseball.
Yeah, they're just it's a different breed. They do their own
Well, not
thing.
wired right.
Just let them do their thing, and so it was funny. He's like, oh yeah, I know Bijan, but oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Like that was pretty funny.
yeah, that was hilarious. Um, but yeah, until the Panthers show a consistency of what they can do, there's still just a lot of holes on the team. Like their offense does look promising though. Chuba looks, Hubbard looks good. Bryce Young, we saw T Mac go for 100. Like we saw even Hunter Renfro get involved. That was
I
cool.
I really thought Xavier Legette was going to have a better role in the offense. He's just a beast. He's
He's
such a
DK
big
Metcalf.
bodied,
Yeah,
yeah, just such a big wide receiver. I really thought in year 2 it was going to be the guy. Obviously, we've seen McMillan just come alive, so I guess he will take a back seat to there. But that's why I think the Panthers' offense does have some bright spots. Has we've seen some opportunities, but not in this matchup here. I don't think they can overcome the Falcons especially with Bijan. He can salt a game away by just both in the receiving game and running game. Um, he just dominates the game. You can just keep feeding him.
yeah, absolutely. And the next one I was really torn with. Um, 'Cause I just can't believe me and you both had the Texans going 0-3, and we have them winning the division. Um, I still didn't love it, and I feel like this is the one where we're gonna be wrong on. I really do. Like I still don't feel great about this pick.
Yeah.
Just kind of a throw it out there. So maybe you can convince me because I don't know if I have much like
I really don't know. I kind of look at it
we're
as
professional podcasters, but I don't know. I don't know either.
well, no, I mean, when I look at it, I want to decide, like kind of what you're saying. I want to decide with the Texans, but when I'm looking at it and you look at the loss that they, obviously that was a great battling by the Bucks, but when you have a devastating loss like that, in essence, you're coming off a short week. it's one of those things now you're going back, you're traveling away game too.
It's gonna be humid in Jacksonville.
It's all the things, just they're little things that kind of add up to make it a little bit worse. So when you have a close game like this, those things suck. Short week, travel, um, obviously you're kind of down, your morale's down after a loss like that. And at the same time, this Jags team doesn't look that great either. So it's going to be tough. I'm interested to see what the backfield's going to look like. It's another one of those backfields that, you've got a good, ETN, you've got your great running back one, but your running back two spot can take over at any time too. So, are we going to see Brian Thomas Jr. come alive like we want him to, like we saw him last year? Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a serviceable quarterback. He's my replacement for, I had Burrow in our in my home league. So he's my replacement that I did have to step in. So maybe that's my bias is I've got him hoping that he's going to have a good game because I need him as my replacement.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing is I don't know if you saw that close, but Brian Thomas just I think like 3 drops last week or 3 drops. But there was like if the drops were just so bad and so like I don't want to be out. Like I don't know if him and Liam I think it's Liam
No,
Cohen is the head coach. They were arguing like he just wanted nothing to do with being in like nothing. Like it was just honestly it was crazy to see. Like we have a dynasty that we do and the owner that has Brian Thomas Jr. was like I think I'm nervous about having him right now. Like I don't know what this is turning into, but I do not like what I see. And I mean, he hasn't even broke like I think 40 yards this year. Maybe 50 yards.
that's
But
insane when we saw so many 100 plus games.
I mean, I feel like his rookie year got snubbed by, neighbors and everyone else that was like having really good years, but we just didn't talk about him at the headlines and stuff, but he was just so under the radar, just extremely good.
Yeah.
And for some reason this year, I don't know. Maybe it's because they went out and drafted a wide receiver. I don't know what's going on there, but it's a weird thing. And so that's what maybe almost go Texans. But the one thing that I hate about the Texans is they have no identity in the backfield. They have no idea who they're trying to do. Damian Pierce or Woody Mark. Like they have no idea. Nick Chubb, right? Like
Although
and
Chubb had a
also
great run
he had a
towards the
great
end of that
run. But
game.
we're
That
also
was
not talking about the simple fact that the Texans have a backfield of Woody Chubb.
love it.
Like why is no one talking about that? That's the greatest backfield we've ever had. But that O line in all seriousness, the Houston O line is awful. I mean, CJ Stroud has 0 time to throw the football. 0. Like it's and so I think that's where I just was like, man, maybe the Jags are just like a little bit more like soundproof. I don't know. Like I just was like, I genuinely think the Texans can win this game. Like I really do. That's what kind of sucks is like
Yep.
I went with this one, but it wasn't like I loved it. But I wouldn't have loved the Texans either with what I saw. But maybe they can get Chubbs going and CJ Stroud can get some more time. But I mean, that O line is just atrocious. It truly is. Um, Chargers though, 2-0. Love that. People think that we're Chargers fans, Matt, even though we're not. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Go
We're just big Chargers.
what is it? Go Bolts?
Go Bolts.
Bolt up? I don't know.
Bolt up, bolt down, bolt sideways, whatever way you want to go, we'll bolt that way. And but yeah, I mean, what is crazy is we talked about week 1, the emphasis was divisional matchups. The Chargers start their season off with 3 straight. Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. If they can win this game, they're locked in at 3-3. Now, the game in Brazil, I believe, counted as their home game against Kansas
Yeah.
City, which kind of
Yep.
sucks. Last week on Monday Night Football was at Las Vegas, and then now they're home against the Broncos. So you call those all 3 home matchups, right? You win all 3, even though they're not, even though the one last week was Las Vegas, but you win 3 of
Yep.
your home matchups. You're 3-3 in the division. Like that is what's going to be huge when they're looking at 4-2, possibly 5-1 in the division if they can get 3-0 here. But I love this team. how they look. I think they're still. But the crazy thing is I still think there's a whole new upside that we haven't even seen yet. Like I don't think they figured out. We just talked about the Fannin, Njoku, the Henderson, and the Stevenson. I don't think they figured out Najee and Hampton. I
Yeah,
still don't think
they
they.
split carries.
Yeah, I don't think they're 100% in. I think they're starting to figure that identity out, but I think there's I mean, it's endless at opportunities that offense can. They have 3 weapons, wide receiver wise, great O line, and 2 good running backs, and their defense has been getting a lot of turnovers, which is the recipe for success, man. Don't turn the football over and force turnovers.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if you saw what looked like Khalil Mack might have.
He's gonna miss a few weeks.
Yeah, so that's tough when you have a veteran presence
And a
in there.
huge guy that could damage.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm hoping we see him with a club, on his hands coming out there soon. Just get him casted up, but that presence is definitely gonna be missed. But kind of like what you said, it's always I wasn't sure from week 1 to week 2 what the dynamic was going to be at wide receiver because we saw Quentin Johnson light it up week 1, but we still had the volume, we still had the touches for Keenan Allen. But then when you see, you know, Q only had 3 receptions last week, but it was for 71 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So you don't need all the touches because you can split them then between Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey. So I really do think, let's hope you're trending in the right direction, calling that MVP out of Justin Herbert because he's looking every bit of it right now in week 1 and week 2. He's putting up the numbers. If he can sustain that, I think you might have found, I hope someone tailed you because I think you might have found the diamond in the rough there.
Yeah. And even like before we move on, I mean, I agree with everything you say, just like most of the time I do. But like you said, we saw 3 catches for 71 from Quinton Johnson. What I want to look up though is he's got 3 touchdowns, but both games he has 7 targets. I mean, if you're averaging 7 targets, you're going to get 3 to 5 catches a game, if not 7, right? Sometimes you'll see 7 for 7, whatever else. Especially if a guy like Herbert throwing to you, because I'm sure some of those with this is their kind of their deep ball guy, right?
Yep.
That's why they drafted him. But at 24 years old, and I mean they did draft him in that first round. They really want him. They could have easily given up on him. They could have just done what they could have went the Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey route. But I think Harbaugh said, no. We drafted this guy. He's here for a reason. Let's make sure that he knows that. And I think 7 targets a game. It shows you everything that you want to see. Now, what's going to be interesting in this matchup before we move on to the next one is going to be who does Pat Surtain cover, and
True.
that's
Yeah.
what I like about the Chargers right now is their identity is McConkey, Allen, Johnston, and then you even got guys like we even saw Najee get a couple catches out of the backfield last week. So you got a guy like I think Hampton's more the guy that's going to catch out of the backfield, but we even saw Najee catch out of the backfield, and they still have good tight ends there as well. So I think it's going to be one of those things where Sean Payton's going to have to buckle up and figure out because if they couldn't beat the Colts last week, I think the Chargers and Herbert are going to be rolling and I think the fans are going to come through at that game and be very excited about the team that they've been witnessing the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, LA's always a good market, and that stadium, state of the art stadium. So, yeah, you can get the
Absolutely.
crowd going.
Yep. And then we have Seahawks at the Saints, which is funny because we don't have much to talk about in this game, but you guys will see our parlay has everything to do with this game. So obviously we have the Seahawks. I feel like
Yeah,
we'll dive more into this game when we get to our parlay. But I mean minus 425. It pretty much tells you everything you need to know. I don't think there's gonna be many weeks we take the Saints, if not ever. So
yeah. So we're attacking this game, probably from a fantasy standpoint too, right? But
yeah.
you'll see it in our parlay as well.
Yeah. The Cowboys at Chicago. This was almost my lock of the week. Plus 1.5. I think it's an absolute steal.
Yeah.
The Lions just pulled the Bears' pants down and spanked them for 52.
In front of
52,
everybody.
right?
Yep.
It's 52.
52-21.
Which really cool. I wish I had the clip to like insert it. I know that's always something you wanted to do. Was one of my close friends at the time in high school. We still are in contact. She does photography for the Bears. She was right in front of St. Brown when he caught the touchdown running towards like the end of the end zone. I think it was on fourth down, the fourth down touchdown that he had. Um, and she's like is like right there, and he like runs by her, and he like knew the camera, so he was like looking at her, or whatever. And so it was the one where we did like the clock it like
Yep.
celebration. It was her, she not that camera, but on the other side around. So it was really cool though. Like I was like scrolling through, I'm like, wait, this is Destiny. And like I looked and like it's literally her, like she's literally sitting there, and St. Brown's like right there. I'm like, that was so cool to see. Not to get distracted, but the Cowboys are gonna whip the Bears ass. Like, it's just I don't know. I
No,
just have I think Ben Johnson is I mean, the quote came out today that their practices do not um reflect the team that they need to be. That's what he came out today and said. Literally word for word. So when you have a coach still saying that Wednesday after they just got beat by 52 or but got put up by 52, it's like, and their defense that we saw the whole time, the defense, oh, Caleb's struggling in preseason in all these practices because the Bears defense is top 5. Okay. Top 5 dropping 52 on them. Like
I
what
know.
so and they just lost Jalen Johnson for multiple weeks. I don't know if it's the season ending or if it's multiple weeks. But that's their top guy. So I mean, I think Dak, if you're any kind of Cowboys fantasy owner, I know you were big on Javonte Williams anytime touchdown. Dak Prescott, great start this week, I think.
Yep.
And CD and Pickens, I think it's just you can see both of those guys go for 15 plus fantasy points.
Yeah, I mean, the only scary thing in this matchup is the Cowboys let the Giants,
I
just
know. I know. I thought that route too. I just don't.
that's the only.
I don't see the Bears putting up 30 plus points. I just
I
don't
agree,
see them
but
doing it.
but when they're able to put that many points up against this Cowboys defense,
It is scary.
that is scary. So I mean, I don't think what we saw last week. I think is on par with it. Um, that you can especially the Cowboys have the weapons. I think they can put up that 30 plus number. It's just scary if you let the Giants do it. Can the Bears do it? Like, is this the game that the Bears then do have those weapons? Like, Odunze was a beast, right? I mean, 7 receptions, 128, 2 touchdowns. Um, that's pretty impressive. So if they kind of get that moving against the Cowboys, I do see him. That's what I mean, and I guess that's why Vegas sees it that way too, right? Is I think they do have a shot there, but kind of like what you said, I love Javonte for a touchdown. You loved CeeDee Lamb for a touchdown last week. I think this week is the week that he gets it now, and put up good numbers. But yeah, you plugged my TikTok a little bit, and my stupid meme post earlier. Um, I think we see them going 0-3 here, and then we see these offensive coordinator take that head coach position, and this is not the right opportunity right now for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got the 49ers the Arizona Cardinals at the 49ers. We both took the 49ers. Kind of goes right back to what I said. I don't know if Purdy is back or not. This just goes to show you I didn't even look.
Right.
Like bad podcaster for me and bad sports analysis by me. I don't think it matters. You can give me Purdy or you can give me Mac Jones. I still think it's a very systematic spot, and it's not shade towards Purdy. It's not shade for Mac Jones. But I think if Mac Jones was the quarterback for the next 5 years, you get very similar results with Brock Purdy. And maybe that's a hot take, but I really don't think that it matters that much. Just with how many weapons that they have and Kyle Shanahan's offense. But like I said last slide, the Cardinals have the worst 2-0 record. They barely got away from the Saints, and then they barely got away from the Panthers. I think this is their
Yep.
wake up call of like, hey, real football is coming your way in the schedule, and you better buckle up. Because I did not like what I saw from Kyler last week. I did not like what I saw from Marvin Harrison last week. I still have not loved what I saw from Trey McBride this season, which all has to do with Kyler Murray. There's really no excuse of why they're not just stomping on these teams. Really, there's
Yep.
not. So I really do love the 49ers in this matchup at home. Everything about it. Everything about it I love.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's really shocking, that 2-0 for the Cardinals. It's Kyler has not played like the quarterback they need him to be. I do love Trey McBride still. I think he's still going to get a lot of utilization here. But no matter what, I think the 49ers are going to be able to take it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Chiefs are going to get their first win versus the poverty Giants. Just a reminder that the Giants did let go of Saquon Barkley, who then rushed for 2,000 yards. And then they let go of Daniel Jones, who is now the leading AFC passing yard leader. And they let go of Xavier McKinney, who leads the NFL in interceptions. Um,
So
so,
are they gonna get rid of Neighbors midseason then or something?
I mean, they can if he wants to go to Mahomes, and then I can be a really happy dynasty owner. That would be cool. But yeah, like of course the Chiefs. Like I hate it. I wish they like you look at some of the Lions have not gotten a break. The Chargers have not gotten a break. The Eagles have not gotten. The Eagles still are not going to have a break. Like the next like 2-3 matchups are just like tough matchups like every week. And then of course it's like the Chiefs just have a layup just in the middle of the
Yep.
schedule. So or after they're 0-2. You know, if they play the Ravens, if they play you guys, if they play the Cowboys, if they play the 49ers, I think they go 0-3. Like you know. And so of course it's gonna help them get right back on course here of the path of getting a win here. I hope we see Russell Wilson throw for another 400 yards. That'd be really cool. And the Chiefs start off 0-3. I think me and you would both be happy with that, but I just don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Yep, I agree.
A fun fact though, before we move on, kind of a depressing fact for the Giants fans. If you're Giants fans, I'm really sorry because I've already been hammering you guys with all this stuff. But 21% of all 60-yard field goals in the NFL since 2014. So think about that. For the last 11 years, 21% of 60-yard field goals are against the Giants, and all of them have been when time have expired in the fourth quarter.
That's brutal.
So imagine just being a Giants fan and you're seeing a 60-yard field goal get lined up, and it's hitting every time. Like every time. Like
And
that's how you lose.
we'll see it on prime time. We'll see it
Oh,
as a
dude.
Sunday night football game.
Harrison Butker, 64-yarder. No, I don't think it'll come down to that. But Monday Night Football, we are spoiled with this one at least. I think the Thursday Night Football and Sunday Night Football are kind of shitty matchups, but at least the Monday Night Football, hopefully, it will give us a good one. I love the over 51.5 in this game. I already took it, but I took the Ravens. I told you before, even we started. I felt like I cheated on you or something. Like I addressed it to you. I'm like, hey, just so you know, like this is why I did it. Like,
It's all right.
I'm just like, just so you know, like I'm not trying to, I'm not,
You're entitled
but
to your opinion, even if it's wrong.
yeah.
So
And I think it's what I kind of told you was you guys looked really bad against Green Bay. And you had me a little worried. I stuck with you guys last week. Then you guys put up 52 against the Bears, who the Bears have obviously looked terrible. So that's where I'm just like inconsistency. Green Bay outdoor, tough stadium to play in, look like dog shit. Come back home, look great. Go play in Baltimore outside in a tough stadium to play in again against a really tough team. Probably Packers are up there with one of the best teams you guys will play this year too. But another really good team that you guys have a history of getting stomped on by. And so it's like I couldn't go with the Lions here. If I told you the Lions start off 2-0, maybe. But I see the Ravens as a team that's supposed to be 2-0 right now. If Derrick Henry doesn't fumble the football in week 1, right? So I think that's why you see the -4.5, the -225 is we got to see the consistency out of Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions offense. But I think we're in for a treat. I really do. I think this game could go both ways. I think the line doesn't show that, but I do think this could be just an absolute shootout.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. You get the confidence coming out of that, you know, demolishing of the Bears. They have that confidence back. Like, obviously that was a tough week 1, but the Lions put it together. Jared Goff, great performance. This is going to be a tough matchup because Ravens are a really good team. You saw Lamar ball out. So, can they stick around? It's going to come down to the defense, I think. We saw Brian Branch, just an absolute missile,
Oh god, dude. I
and force
saw it.
that fumble. That was pretty sweet. So, can we see some more people step up? Terrion Arnold's, can we see Anzalone? He's really got a test at the linebacker position because we've talked about it before. Take your pick. Is it Derrick Henry, like who obviously was non-existent last week, but when they get him rolling, they feed him, or if it's Lamar running wild, that linebacker position is out of luck, because if he pulls that back again, now he's got Zay Flowers. Now he can, he's going to throw it downfield too.
Dude, and one that
So
we haven't been talking about this year is D-Hop. D-Hop has 2 touchdowns in 2 games, and one of them got called back last week. He should have 2 touchdowns. They called him down on the 1. So he could have
yeah,
2 games, 3 touchdowns. Like, D-Hop, like, they literally signed him to throw him the deep ball. Like, we thought washed up wide receiver, yada, yada,
right.
yada. Yeah, he's not 8, 10 catches anymore, but, like, that 30, 40-yard, like, go route, like, they are running it with him, and every week they've thrown it to him multiple times that way. So I mean, even that's really dangerous, especially when you're kind of like, oh shit, is Henry running at us? Does Lamar have the ball? And then it's like, oh shit, DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers of our generation, is running behind me. It's like it's scary, man. And
Yeah.
I think this is a game where if it evens out 52-49, you guys lose. I still think that's a great sign for the Lions, though. As long as you guys keep up or keep them or even keep them low and it's like a
Yeah.
21-17, like I think that you can take a loss here, but it's still a okay, like we don't panic, it's a good team, we'll be fine. But if it's like holy shit, we just got blown out, then it's like uh-oh, because we
Yeah.
can't we can't score the ball, we can't score a touchdown on the road, like
Yeah, and to me, you're kind of hitting it right there. Is I'm thinking back to that Washington Commanders game. If that offense just keeps rolling over you and they don't punt it, you don't get turnovers, then this is going to be a scary one.
yeah,
So that's why, to me, that's why I'm saying the defensive matchup. If you can stop them, if you can get a couple turnovers, and then let your offense, come alive like they did against the Bears, you can stick around. You can have that opportunity for that last drive, go down, and
yep.
kick a field goal for the win on the road. That'd be a huge move in the right direction for what's a tough road schedule. Tough schedule all around for the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last thing we got for you guys is the parlay. Unfortunately, your host here can't get it together, and I'm 0-2 after going like perfect on touchdowns too. It just was brutal. And the thing is
That's
like
tough.
it's not even like I mean I guess everyone could say it. Like I love my picks every week. Like I hammer them. Like it's not like I
Yeah.
don't believe in them. Like I the Steelers -2.5. They win by 2. CeeDee Lamb, like how did he not get in the end zone on a fucking 100-point game? Like it's just like goodness gracious,
Yeah, and
cut me
that's
some
why
slack.
I love when you do that. I love your picks. Like I'm not if I would tell you if I say, well, I don't, I'm not really confident in that either. I love the picks. They just
Yeah.
not quite hitting until
Yeah.
this
So
week.
this one this week is to make it up for you guys. We talked about in the Seattle Saints game how we were gonna, talk about it a little bit more. But Matt, you love JSN, everything he's been doing this year, especially the connection we saw with him last week with Darnold. So we have him anytime touchdown. Juwan
He's
Johnson
got to get in.
over 40.5 receiving yards. The line's already going up. When I was talking about this with Matt, he was at 39.5. I know it's not much. I guarantee you by Sunday, when this game's about to start, it's at 44, 45, 46. Guarantee it.
Yep.
So you want to get in as soon as you can. And then we just threw in the Seahawks money line. We only usually do 2, but we figured let's switch it up a little bit. We're gonna go 3 for 3 here, make up the money that we've been losing out on. $50 to win 235. I mean, to give you guys an example, Juwan Johnson is the number 2 tight end in fantasy football right now. He's got 20 targets in 2 games. So his lowest game this year, I think, is 58, and the line's at that number. So I love it. Seattle, you saw them give up touchdowns last week to backup tight ends, you know. So they'll be just fine. Juwan Johnson's gonna be great. JSN's gonna score a touchdown. Like if anything misses, bro, please let it just not be my pick. Like I want him to hit, but I need a hit so bad. Like
Yeah.
this is brutal. This and hands up. I mean, this is just it's unacceptable. It truly is. Oh my gosh, how do we get over here?
I don't know.
But unacceptable on my behalf. I don't even deserve you guys tailing me. I gotta hit something. Look, all I'm gonna say is if you tail this and you hit, you're up $85 from what you spent. So this is my gift to you. Merry Christmas in September. Right?
I was gonna say Happy Oktoberfest. We're gonna be doing Oktoberfest this weekend. So
Oh, okay. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Love the picks. Like we said, consensus. It looks good. We're looking great this year. A lot of consensus between me and you. I think that we already talked about, we'll see more consensus between me and you because of the fact there's only two of us now, where a lot
Right.
of times it was me and you and then Fancy was on the other side, or it was me and Fancy, you on the other side, whatever. So we're going to see more. So it's cool seeing more, but then also seeing the record reflect that of our picks are really good when we pick them together. So if you guys are ever 50-50, that's the cool thing, right? Is that's why we keep that record is if you guys are ever 50-50 and you see us on both on one side, we hope that you at least have confidence in us that our track record shows that we're pretty good at picking the right matchup in those ones. But yeah, anyways, we appreciate you guys. The viewership, the sub count's been going up. Um, the socials have been awesome. Lots of comments, lots of suggestions, lots of things. It's super interactive. It's pretty much been everything that we wanted to turn this into. Um, and it's only week 3. This is the 4th episode that we've done this season, so it's just awesome to see, and we're very appreciative of it. So yeah, that's all we got for you. You got anything else, Matt?
No, just Marty was talking, giving us some suggestions about topics. One thing I'll say is, if you guys do have those topic suggestions, throw them in the comments, so
Absolutely.
everybody can see them. That way we can just kind of highlight. We'll move in the direction we need to, right? Which is, let's try to make it informative. Let's walk through the things that make sense. So if you've got any ideas, throw it in the comments.
Yeah, and even if we can't get into it on the pod, we can always do a short clip on it, of us responding, or we'll just give you a comment back. But we love to even some of these 50-50 matchups, even if you're like, hey, you guys went this, but I'm going this because of this reason. You guys can see me and Matt. We love analyzing the games and giving reason, and everything we see or hear, we can at least agree with or be like, yeah, I can see that, but I still like my side better or whatever it is. But we love it. We're never going to argue with you guys, so don't be afraid. We definitely just love hearing and talking about football. So, but that's all we got for you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Later.
See ya.